Hi, I'm going to talk about some issues that have always been part of my relationship with God, but this gets really intense and it's getting intense. So I'm going to talk about it even more. There is so many positive reactions to my video about boredom, how to get bored well, and yeah, it was great to hear that you experience similar things. Um, there was a long period of my life when I had this dynamics of my time with Jesus that first I felt quite good. Maybe it was really good at a point, and after a while it became empty and striving and struggle. And then it was really bad at a point, and then I was just giving it all up and okay, I can't do that. And after that it was like extremely good, and the next time I've just done the same pattern all over again. And I knew that God was available all the time and that He didn't want me to suffer. But somehow I made the conclusion that that's how this works. I need to go through the suffering part and the striving part so that I can get to the pleasure part. And there are many mystics writing about it. And I didn't want to make a theology about it because it was like I knew that this wasn't the truth of my relationship with God, but it was still what I experienced, so I just didn't know what to do with it. And I came to the conclusion that it's I need those long hours, not because finally God shows up and rewards me for my patience or whatever. It's just I am waiting for myself to let go. And this is how many hours my mind requires to be still or finally get stilled. And it was there were so many times when I was extremely frustrated, even depressed about my relationship with God, because I was like, I'm all in. I want to know how this works. I want to know the dynamics of the presence. I want to live in this thing. This is the real deal. I want to know how to operate in it and how to get into the presence easily and things like that. And of course, the presence is like a constant thing, but there is an experience of it, and I didn't know how to have it all the time. And I came to the conclusion that I wasn't able to spend time with God. I wasn't able to connect with Him, and it frustrated me like crazy. And I always condemn myself, like, I don't love the Lord enough. I'm not where I used to be. I don't feel enough love. I'm not in the same spirit of worship or whatever. And I felt bad about myself. I felt like this is disappointment for the Lord. This is something like I should be ashamed of, that I don't learn how the presence works. And I tried to invest even more time, but the more time I was waiting on the Lord, the later I felt He showed up. So I felt like I'm not going anywhere, And there was a point when I was so depressed. I told the Lord that I can't even be with you. I should stop it. And he said, yes, you should stop it now. And I just felt like I can't do it. I had this thing in my mind that the more and more I do it, the more I will be able to flow with it and understand it. And I somehow imagine the presence and the workings of the Lord as some very complicated machine, and that I can observe and learn all the functions, and then I can operate with it and in it. And I had to realize that I'm not going anywhere with it. Like, I'm going backwards. And what's wrong with me? And I felt complete bankruptcy. And that's when I had this idea, what I shared with you with the boredom video, that I was just taking naps with the Lord. Like, I was just laying down and I was half asleep, just knowing that He loves me and He's there somewhere. But it was basically just resting. It's not like resting in the spirit. It was just simply relaxing, laying on the bed. And maybe a little bit of, you are good and I know you love me, but that was the peak, that nothing more. But it also happened in the inside because I was half asleep. And I realized that I don't know whether it's an intense experience of God's presence, but at least I don't condemn myself. At least I don't have any pressure or worry, and it's better than beating up myself that I don't love the Lord enough. And I had to realize that all this pain thing by waiting on the Lord was because I was clinging to something that I was about to let go, but I was still clinging to it, so it hurt because I tried to hold it and release it with all my strength at the same time, and it hurt. And all the joy and ecstasy I experienced after complete frustration was because finally, when I was totally frustrated with all my striving and all my what lyrics to sing and what prayer to say and what to do, with all my spiritual exercises, when I was so fed up, then I finally let go, and then boom, everything happened. And for a long time, I felt like all this time when I feel like it doesn't work, it was my failure, something I should do better. And there was a point, I don't know, it was the grace of God. I came to the realization that that's the point. God just brings me through all that suffering to the realization that I can't do it. Even if I find some great way to enter the presence, the next time it doesn't work. And the reason why it doesn't work, because now I try to use it as a tool to get there. The last time worked, the very same thing worked very well the last time, the very same songs and prayers, because it was out of freedom then, and out of release and relax and rest. And now that I try to use it as a tool to get there, it doesn't work. And because the Holy Spirit says, I'm not cooperating with your strife and struggle. That's not how I work. I always give myself as a gift. Gift means that you don't pay for it, you don't strive for it, you don't content, you don't do anything. So I realized that all this pain and hurt phase of my waiting on the Lord was not from the Lord, of course, but it was my way to finally let go. So this is something I had to go through to finally realize how bad and destructive my striving is. And yes, there was a point when I was completely happy with the fact that I'm completely bankrupt and I'm not able to do a single thing to get myself in any experience of God's presence. And I don't know why, it was a special grace just for me, because I realized that if it's true, and if I'm really not able to do anything, if I couldn't establish my relationship with God, I'm not the one who is able to sustain it either, then I don't need to try it again. I can start with bankruptcy. I don't need to wait 3 hours to feel bankrupt. I can came to this conclusion in the very beginning. So now I sit down and I feel like my mind is elsewhere and I don't feel it, and I'm not in the mood and all of that, and I'm not frustrated at myself anymore. Oh, you should feel better, you should think better, you should worship better. I'm like, that's it. Maybe you are not able to connect with God because you are not able to do it. That's so simple. So you can stop it and just be, because you won't be able to do any part of your relationship with God. And nowadays, sometimes I just sit down and I'm okay with being bored for the next half an hour. I'm gonna be here, and it's okay if nothing else happens. Just me being here, realizing how unable I am to make myself experience God. And if all that happens will be that, it's okay. I'm gonna give this time to you, and I'm gonna be here. And let me tell you, there were some times what I spent with God that were completely without any experience of any emotions whatsoever. I'm all for emotions and experiences, don't misunderstand me. I love them. But there were times when I just realized how bankrupt I am, and I somehow started to enjoy it. Every time I felt like this doesn't work, I don't feel like worshiping, I don't feel like in the mood, I don't know how to connect with God. Instead of beating myself up how stupid I am and how much I don't really know the presence of God, even though I spent my previous few years diving into it, I just realized this is it. That's how far I can go on my own. And it's actually the grace of God that He just has this stop sign, no, nothing that comes with your striving will enter my kingdom. That's not how my kingdom works. And yeah, I'm starting to be happy about it when I feel like nothing works, because I know that this is not working because I was striving. The best sign of when you are in release and surrender is when everything is easy and just works by itself. So yeah, it doesn't work because I was trying to do something, and yeah, I can't do it. Okay, God, just realize it. I don't need to spend in striving another 3 hours. I'm giving up now. And after giving up and after coming to the conclusion that you are not able to do a thing, it's kind of like dying. As I said in the boredom video, you just let yourself die in a sense. Like all the ideas and methods and exercises just die. At first it hurts because you love them and cling to them, but after a while it becomes a joyful thing. Ah, I'm dying again. It's gonna be fun because resurrection is coming. So now I get excited when when I feel like I'm coming to the end of myself. And actually, when you are looking forward to it, like coming to the end of yourself, you are accelerating the process. Like if you don't want to come to the end of yourself, you try another thing and another thing, and you just sustain your striving. And that is why you can spend even more and more hours uh, in this waiting and striving season of your time with God. So there was a time when I was expecting that this painful season shortens, and it increased, and I didn't know why, because I became more exercised and striving and coming up with ideas and clinging to my will and things like that. Now every time I feel it doesn't work, I remind myself that it doesn't work because I tried it, and I'm not supposed to try it. It's all his business. I'm totally bankrupt. Only he can make me experience anything. There is this lie that if you don't do it, it won't be done. It's such a big lie. If you don't do it, someone will do it who can do it. Maybe like cleaning up the room, maybe in that sense this is true. But in your relationship with God, it's absolutely not true. If you stop doing it, you just realize that someone has done it for you. So there are times when I don't have any great experience. I'm just wasting my time. I'm just I'm just I'm just bored with God, just nothing really happens. And I stand up and I feel like, oh, at least I realize how bankrupt I am. I deepen my understanding of my inability to make myself experience God. And then I just start to do my stuff, and I realize nothing happened, but I'm not the same. Like, I feel like no experience, no talking, no sense of this and that. We have all these things in mind, what should happen in the presence of God, or what we like happening in our time with God. And then I felt like, okay, nothing happened. I practiced surrender, that's it. And I realized this is not the same me. Like, I don't know what happened, but if this is nothing, I need a lot of it. Yeah. I have some ideas about like feelings and all that, but I would like to share them in another video. And I wish you would receive all that I had in the understanding of waiting and release and surrender. So yeah, next time you come to this wall that you can't go through, just realize that you can't go through, and it's okay. Let yourself die, and the Spirit of God won't fail to resurrect you. God bless you.